right. So next, let's talk about the speeches at the Republican National Convention. First thing I have on the docket is Trump Jr., who spoke on Monday nights. Did you get a chance to see that speech?
I didn't get a chance to see that speech, but I did listen to so the guy from Secular Talk, the podcast Secular Talk. I forget his name, but I could pull up his name in a second. But
Okay.
so he posted a Twitter photo of Kermit the
His
Frog.
eyes. Oh, okay.
No, Kermit the Frog doing a line. And he was like Trump Jr. behind, and his name is Kyle Kalinske.
Kyle Kalinske, okay.
Yeah, him doing a line, like Kermit the Frog doing a line on in the back and saying this is Trump Jr. in the back, and then Eric Trump replied saying you must have me confused with Hunter Biden, and then but then Kyle was like, y'all could both be coked up. He's like, just because one person does coke doesn't mean another person can't do coke. And then I kind of saw like the photos of him, and I just some people were talking about how he was sweaty. He was sweaty as hell, and his eyes were.
Okay. So Trump Jr. spoke on Monday night, and this is part of the theme of family that we're speaking on in one of our other videos. It was like just Trump but younger, because he was doing a lot of the hand thingy, right? And actually, I feel like I do it from time to time. But he was doing the accordion thing, like Trump. As far as like the substance of the speech, there wasn't any. It's the same thing of like, the Democrats are taking your cities and blah blah. So there wasn't any substance. The stuff I remembered, the stuff I remembered were the fact that he did seem sweaty, and his eyes looked like they were crying. Like I was messaging someone on WhatsApp as it was going on. I was like, "Why is Trump Jr. crying?" Right. So that's literally my lasting memory from that speech, because there was nothing of substance in it. You were gonna say something?
What I was gonna say is, you saying there was no substance. I think that you just made me clarify in my head exactly what I felt was lacking throughout the entire Republican National Convention. It just didn't seem like there was any substance behind any of their speeches. Yeah. So I'm assuming if I didn't listen to Eric Trump, me listening to Tiffany Trump was probably still the same crap. It was basically, my daddy's great. They're, kind of doing like the whole, have you seen South Park? They're trying to take our gerbs, they're just they're after your guns, they're after your jobs, they're trying to destroy your businesses, all that stuff. So that makes sense. Yeah, a lot of people were scrutinizing the way he looked.
Yeah,
he's always looked like a grease ball to me, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen him speak a couple of times, and he always has his issues. But I don't know, this one, I was like, why is he crying? And then I saw someone tweet something. I thought it was pretty funny. I personally don't want to remote diagnose anything, but basically, they tweeted that a side effect of amphetamines is crying, or like tears in your eyes or whatever.
When you're look, I'm not saying this is what's going on, but I've been around people who are going through withdrawals, or you know what I mean, or in desperate need of some, relief. I'll put it like that.
Yeah. Well,
there's a lot of sweating. There's a lot of clamminess, because he looked a little clammy on the photos that I saw. Bloodshot eyes, because his eyes looked pretty bloodshot to me.
Yeah. So if one of the side effects are crying and bloodshot eyes, I think another side effect is yelling, because that's what we got from the next speaker, who was his girlfriend, Kimberly Guilfoyle, the former First Lady of San Francisco, Gavin Newsom's ex-wife. Full on Trump now. She was yelling. My eardrums may have been bleeding. I'm not sure.
I don't think nobody told her that there was no audience.
Yeah.
So she must have done practice the speech with an audience, and then when she went out there, she was like, well, I didn't practice it without one, so let me go ahead and just keep doing what I'm doing.
I don't know if you've seen the Guilfoyle challenge, where the people do the last two lines of it. and not a pun on lines of coke, but people do the last two lines of her speech, and then it like ends with this big thing, and then like her eyes are wide open, and she's like, yeah, and the whole thing was super creepy. I'm like, what is going on at this convention? Yeah, I don't know who she was playing to. I don't know what that was for or who that was for, but it was.
I feel like a lot of them kind of like I'm sure you've seen the clip of Miller being
Stephen
like
Miller?
yeah, being shut off by I forget who. It's a big news guy where he was basically telling him, "Look, I'm not gonna do this interview with you because obviously you're only speaking to one guy, which was Donald Trump."
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like a lot of these guys were just speaking to their savior Donald Trump, like the whole entire time. They were talking to, you know, Ivanka doesn't really have to do much because she's always been the favorite. You know, if that wasn't his daughter, he'd be dating her. You know, so she's always the favorite. So I kind of feel like there seems to be like a lot of like, Daddy, look, I can do this too. Kind of it just seems like there was a lot of sucking. Trying to suck up to dad. So it was just.
I was like, don't finish that sentence.
No, dad, sucking up to dad.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll put in the description below a clip of the Guildfall challenge. If I can find a compilation, that would be even better because it's very hilarious. People doing those final two lines of her speech, and then like doing the wide eye thing.
How do you spell her name?
Guildfall. Oh, Guilfoyle.
Okay.
Kimberly.
Just I'm gonna look it up too.
Yeah. So, all right. And then I have Trump children. I lump them together because this is, well, yeah, this would include Ivanka. Okay. So Tiffany spoke. Eric spoke. Lara Trump, his daughter-in-law, spoke. And Ivanka spoke. I'm going to first talk about Eric Trump. You didn't watch the Eric Trump speech, right?
The only Trump that I watched that wasn't Donald Trump was Tiffany Trump, I believe.
Okay.
Just because that was the shortest speech out of all the Trumps. So I was like, let me watch one, but I'm not gonna suffer through all of them. I'll let Zino do America's Duty and suffer through all that crap.
Yeah, well, it was my pleasure to do it. It really wasn't. I hated it, all of it. But anyway, so Eric's speech reaffirmed for me why I've always thought he's the most mediocre of the Trumps.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know if you saw my Facebook post about it, but I said he continues to be the most mediocre, and that is not an easy thing to do. No. And then I actually posted that as the speech was going on, and he ended with, "Dad, I love you. Let's go do this for Uncle Robert." And I then commented on my speech about how that has major "notice me senpai" vibes. Like the anime thing of like, "Senpai, notice me." That was Eric Trump. It was as man to man, that was embarrassing to watch.
It's amazing to me because to me he's always been the least remembered Trump.
Yeah.
That's after I barely found out about Tiffany Trump. I didn't know Tiffany Trump existed until this speech.
The president is probably like, my children, Donald, Ivanka, Barron, Tiffany, and
that guy.
The other one.
I will say that one thing. I still appreciate that they keep Barron away from all this crap.
Yeah, no, that's good, because the last thing he needs is, it's hard enough being the child of a high-profile politician.
Yeah.
Let alone the most divisive president in the history of the country.
And not only that, but I kind of feel like, and I don't know if you get these vibes from Melania. Melania doesn't really want to be up there.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think half the time she knows what the heck she's doing up on that stage.
Right.
So I feel like she goes out of her way to make sure to protect him.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. I give her credit.
And look, Melania, to me, I didn't read her speech, but she begs. I kind of get the vibe of, and since we're lumping all the Trumps together, you can speak on her next. I kind of feel like she has this whole "please like me," and you're not completely unlikable. It's just though you do stuff like my biggest goal as the first lady is to stop cyberbullying, but then you have the biggest cyberbully as your husband.
I actually don't agree with please like me vibes from Melania.
You think she doesn't care?
That exactly. If anything, it's the opposite. I think she just like, this is part of the job.
Well, in her
Let me do
defense,
this and then get out of there.
She didn't marry for power. She married for money.
Well, okay, yeah, but if she's married for money, I don't think she then cares about the people liking her. I think she's just like, look.
Maybe it's just me trying to give her too much of a chance to actually be a decent human being.
Nah, I think she's like, look, let me do my part and then get out of this. Like, I don't think she cares to be a part of any of it. So, but I'll get to Melania's part. Let me go in order.
Which I guess that's the reason why I like her, because she doesn't want to be a part of it.
Right. Okay, so Eric spoke. That's about all we can say about it. He spoke.
He was there.
He was there. Tiffany spoke, and I don't know, right? I feel like maybe because they're so away, because she's so away from the limelight, we have kind of projected onto her this thing of maybe she doesn't like him that much, and maybe she'll come out and be like, "Oh, this guy is a total klutz," and all that stuff. But she sounded very Trumpy. To her credit, she didn't like attack Joe Biden. She didn't say the Democrats do this and that. What she said was almost a little more dangerous. Like when she was talking, I got a lot of vibes that she's about to start saying QAnon stuff. She was talking about control and, I don't think she said the words warping your mind, but like I was getting those kind of things from her. I was like, what's going on here? It was weird.
Yeah, she helped build on that dystopian, you guys are being forced to think a certain way, kind of thing. You guys aren't, don't vote for him, because if you vote for him, you're giving them exactly what they want. Which no shit, that's what when you're running for, you obviously want people to vote for, but you're giving these whole vibes of I am, you're being controlled if you vote for him, so vote for Trump, and it's just, and then it's there's just so much tone deafness talking about you understand what it's like to be looking for a job.
As a recent law school grad, I understand.
Yeah, and I'm just like, no, honey, you don't, because you're all, first of all, my thing is, did any of the people at in Trump's campaign tell him, look, every single one of your kids does not need to talk.
Right.
Less is more.
Right. Oh, Biden had his kids speak in the video package to introduce him.
Yeah.
It's less than like a minute long.
Well, that's because you kind of get the vibe that Biden's kids aren't leeches like Trump's kids.
Yeah.
Like they didn't fall that far from the tree.
Yeah.
Like they want the limelight too, because daddy seems to think that you having the limelight is what makes you popular, or is what the more famous you are, the more daddy will love you.
Yeah. Which is why, Eric has been trying to lean into like this far right thing on Twitter. But again, he's just so mediocre that no one pays attention to it.
Nobody gives a damn.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I was a little disappointed with Tiffany. I was expecting something of substance. That's the key word here.
But none of them have substance, man.
Yeah.
From what I heard from all of them, they're just talking.
Yeah. Oh my God. Let me go into Laura Trump real quick. Laura Trump, the thing that is scary about a person like Laura Trump is like, unlike the biological Trumps, she actually sounds smart. And that is scary, because like the stuff she was talking about, she was laying the argument for why Joe Biden's America.
Who was this again?
Laura Trump, Eric's wife. So she was laying the head of his media campaign. She runs Trump TV. So she was laying down the argument for why Joe Biden is dangerous and all that stuff, but in a way that I was like, yo, she's like mastermind type of scary. But one of the funniest parts was in the intro where she's talking about, I'm a daughter of this, I'm a sister of this, blah, blah, blah. It's like she's naming people. She's like, I'm the daughter of Bill and Karen. I don't know what the actual names are, but I'm the daughter of this and that.
Robert and Linda.
Okay, the daughter of Robert and Linda. sister of yada yada, all that stuff. And she said daughter-in-law of President Trump. Oh, she said mother to such and such. She said all the names, daughter-in-law to President Trump. Not once did she say wife of Eric Trump. And that killed me. I was dying laughing. I was like, even his wife doesn't remember his name.
Man, you're not significant, dude.
That was hilarious to me. Because when she was like, daughter of this, I was like, she's got to say it. She's got to say wife of Eric Trump.
All right, look, we're not trying to bully, right? But I'm going to point out that the first time I ever saw Eric Trump's image was when they posted him next to the lines, oh, you ugly. You your daddy's son. That's the first time I ever saw his image. And then every single time I see his face, I think of that line, unfortunately.
No.
And look, we're not for bullying or nothing like that, but sometimes there's some people that if you treat people a certain way, you're going to be treated that same way too, right? So anyways,
it's karma.
The first thing that I pulled up with Laura Trump, though, I don't know if you knew this. The first two out of the first three top stories are Laura Trump's misquotes Abraham Lincoln. So she didn't even quote him right.
Oh, like,
I don't even know if you caught that.
No, I didn't. I was watching the stuff and hearing things, but then, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. At times I zoned out because at times when you start hearing people repeating the same thing, you're like, I've heard this before.
Yeah, so, it's just the same thing over and over again. It's just kind of it just goes in one ear, one out. But the thing is, though, I just feel like I said, the biggest thing that Trump Republicanism has, there's a lot of cult of personality around his presidency, around his campaigns, because she's a campaign advisor too.
Yeah,
so that might explain to you why
she runs the Trump TV.
So that might be why she might actually be an evil genius.
Yeah, no, she's clearly the brains of that operation, at least as the family is concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we already discussed when the last podcast we discussed about Kellyanne Conway. She's very smart too because she helped him win, and it's the same thing with Laura Trump, So it's just, but there's, my thing is though, there's just too much nepotism, man. And it's funny because one of them, there's another person who wasn't a Trump person. I showed you that photo, remember, where somebody, I forgot who it was, and I can look it up real fast, talks about nepotism.
Oh, right before Tiffany Trump speaks.
No, and it's let me see. Did I send it to you?
Well, while you're looking for that, that's what happened though. Pam Bundy is talking about, she's talking about nepotism with the Bidens and Joe Biden and Hunter Biden.
And then I don't know if you can see it right here, but you can literally see right there is
next up.
Trump, Eric Trump, Melania Trump are the next speakers.
Right. Yeah. So there is a lot of tone deafness within that family, and of course nepotism. Which it's the theme of these guys: nepotism, tone deafness, lack of substance.